G'day guys, I'm out fishing today with my mate Brian. We're just hiking up into a river in the Snowies, trying to find some smaller water because the river's fairly high, the main river where we're staying. So we're looking for something a little bit smaller, possibly a little bit warmer, and yeah, it's just a bit of an expedition to see if we can find some fish. So I hope you enjoy it.
We weren't sure what to expect as we pushed through the scrub to the riverbank at our first pull. Was it even going to be fishable? We'd had some pretty heavy rainfall overnight, but remarkably, the river up here was nice and clear and looked fantastic. Brian was fishing the tail out at the back of the pool, and I decided to push up the edge to a good-looking deep section. The rocks were slippery, and I had to wade deep to get into position. I couldn't go any further, but I could just access the deep slot that I'd been eyeing off.
Yep. Feisty one. Ooh. Oh, these are really good fish. Oh, stay out of the bank. Stay out of the bank. Oh. Ah! He's gone back around my head. There, nice. A nice brownie. There he is. You see that fly just in the top of the jaw there. Get that out. All right, there he is. Beautiful brown trout. I've got about as far up that bank as I can get, so. Time to move up the river now, I think. Brian's casting at a fish over here. We haven't seen anything come up yet though. There's a few bugs on the surface. There's plenty of bugs flying around, but we haven't seen anything rise yet.
I made a treacherous crossing at the base of the pool, nearly losing my footing about half a dozen times. Sometimes the things we do to catch a trout are a little bit ridiculous, but somehow I made it across. I soon spotted a fish rising at the top of the pool, just where the shallow riffle started to drop off into that deep slot, and soon I was so immersed in the fishing that the thought of being literally immersed in a raging torrent was swept aside. This was the same deep hole that I had been fishing before, but I had better access from this side. I could fish the whole length of it. Perfect.
Yep. Ooh, not a bad one. nice. Rainbow this time. He's a nice, fat, healthy one. Oh, gee, that's a lovely fish. Alright. Flies out. It's a hen, actually. Lovely. That'd be 2 pounds. A fish, that's a chunky one. There she goes. Beautiful. Alright, I'll go the same fly again. Just a little pink beaded Tassie Devil. There it is. It's just a little hare's ear with pink bead, an orange tag and a CDC wing, CDC collar. There's lots of bugs flying around and all the mayflies seem to be quite light in colour. They're all that sort of tanny, light tanny sort of colour. So not a bad idea to match the colour of the nymph to the colour of the flies, colour of the bugs that you're seeing flying and floating.
Now, back to that honey hole. That's 2 nice fish out of here. I wonder if there are any more, or will they all be spooked?
Yep.
Well, I soon had my answer. The very next cast, in fact.
Little rainbow this time. There he is. Nice. See if there's any more stacked in there.
You do start to wonder just how many fish one small stretch of river can produce. But then, it just keeps producing.
Yep.
Some spots just seem to have that magic combination of conditions that make it a fish magnet. And the trout just don't seem to mind living right on top of each other. That idea that a big fish will drive out all the other fish in the pool, well, I don't really believe that anymore. I'd taken a couple of steps upstream now, and I was letting my nymph swing up towards the surface at the end of the drift, like an emerging insect. I often like to do this if I think there's a hatch going on.
Oh! Just a take then. That was a very definite take.
It can be a little bit harder to detect takes once the fly gets downstream of you. But watch the sighter closely here and see if you can detect the subtle difference in movement when this fish eats the nymph.
Yep. Oh! Ha!
Oh well, straight back into it, and next cast I set the hook solidly into a rock. Well, that was the end of that fly, and I decided it was time to make the treacherous crossing back over the river.
I took a bit of a dip crossing over the river back there, so I gotta get the waders off, get the water out. There's not much fun slushing around like the Michelin Man all day with your waders full of water. It's a difficult river to wade, this one. It's quite slippery and bouldery, And with the water being high like it is at the moment, you really got to be a bit careful. It's very easy to go over in the river, which can make fishing quite challenging, because there's always the temptation to get to that best spot. And of course, you push it too far and you end up doing what I did and going for a swim. I didn't get too much water in, just enough to make it uncomfortable.
Well, I was probably a little bit lucky, to be honest. The way that river was going, I could have ended up down in Victoria somewhere. I'll try to remember that the next time I get trout fever. But somehow, I doubt that the lesson will sink in. I probably also won't remember the hours that we spent trudging up that river that afternoon, or how exhausted we were when we got back to camp, with only 1 or 2 tiny fish more under our belts. Maybe the imposing snowy mountains were trying to tell us something. Turn back, they were saying. Fish the easy water. But no. We were determined to bash our way through the bush, brave the snakes, the spiders and the blackberries, the laughing ducks even, because we were on a mission. Surely, just up past that next bend, there had to be another honey hole. And it didn't matter what the mountains threw at us, or how much the locals shook their heads. We were going.